Today, I have got a cheeky iced coffee on the go, and we are going to jump into an Aetherdrift draft and ice some opponents on the ladder. Uh, there's no ice related spells I can think of in Aetherdrift. Maybe like Flood the Engines is the closest one. Whatever, we're going to go play some Aetherdrift draft. Yo, 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 what we got here? It's an AETHERSPARK. Pick one, pack one AETHERSPARK. Absolutely locking that in. We pretty much play it in every deck that we're gonna draft. So I just want to this is a little weird to me because I feel like I I don't if there are any other Paul Cheon watchers out there. I watched Paul Cheon's draft video where he put together a push the limit deck, and then the next day I entered a draft and I saw 3 push the limits, took 2 of them. Yesterday, Paul put up a video where he found two AETHERSPARKs in a draft. And here we are. Pick one, pack one AETHERSPARK. It seems like Paul seems to foretell my future draft luck. There is also a Pact Altera in this pack, and that's about it. If it weren't for the AETHERSPARK, I think my pick one, pack one would probably be the Pact Altera. Still, well, yeah, we'll take the AETHERSPARK there. It's an awesome card. You do want to be on this sort of more aggressive attacking side with it. It's a good artifact. But yeah, so I guess we'll stay open though, because it can go in any deck. Best cards in this pack are Spin Out and Flood the Engine. Where do I want to be? I would rather take the Flood the Engine. I think blue is a little bit stronger, but I certainly think it's close. Diversion Unit is also good. Fang Druid Summoner, Pothole Mole, Bestow Greatness, Goda. Those are all cards that I'd be willing to play. All cards I'm happy to play. Is a better way to say it. Flood the Engine is a little bit better if our mana is bad. Spin Out is, of course, double black. So I think I'm going to take the Flood the Engine here. Just take, just as the best card in the pack. Now, best card in this pack. So, Kelowna apparently has been doing a little bit better, and I can kind of see that. Keen Buccaneer is good. Grim Bauble is good. Crash and Burn is also good. We did just see a Spin Out. So, I'm going to... I don't think I want to take Redshift just yet. I don't think it's all that powerful. I think I'm taking the Grim Bauble in case black is open, because we did see Spin Out into Grim Bauble. Now, there are a couple of good blue cards here. There's a Crash and Burn here, so it's pretty hard to tell at this stage what's open and what isn't. So I guess picking up that first Bauble is usually pretty nice. And I'm getting a read that black might be open. And I mean, now there's a Haunt the Network. This this blue-black deck is not bad at all with the AETHERSPARK. If I find Wreckage Wicker folks, they hold AETHERSPARKs very well, as do the Thopters. And with the start we have, Grim Bauble, Flood the Engine, and another artifact, absolutely taking Haunt the Network here. There's also a Hull Drifter, wouldn't mind that. Pit Automaton can be good. Starting Column is okay as well. I actually quite like Risky Shortcut, and there's a Dismal Backwater, which... might what was that pick 4, so I think that could wheel, which would be really neat. So here's a Path Cruiser. It is a vehicle. It fetches a land. We can't crew it very well in the blue-black deck, I don't think, unless we find a couple of undead pilots. Don't think I am going to pass this Spin Out though. I do think I do want to play with a Path Cruiser. I hear that it's pretty good. I have been got by it before, and it is nice to be able to play on the splash, but it seems like blue-black is the place to be. Now there is a Foul Roads, Nesting Bot, and a Deathless Pilot. I think I'm just taking Pilot. There is a Gearseeker Serpent, which I guess could... we are in an artifact deck. So maybe I should take Gearseeker Serpent as top end for my artifact deck. kind of just want to just take the decent 2-drop that although this isn't really a Deathless Pilot deck. Yeah, let's take the Gear Seeker Serpent. We're probably going to have quite a few artifacts, so I'm not against it. Now, Nimble Thopterist is a really decent creature for this deck. Makes an artifact, makes a Thopter. Godlike Matrix is probably playable as well, as is Deathless Pilot. I think I'm just going to take the Thopterist here. So now there's a Voyage Home and a Scrap Compactor. Mutant Surveyor, which I do think is a great card. It is not necessarily like it's not an artifact. Voyage Home, is this something I want to splash? It really might be. Scrap Compactor is also good enough. Voyage Home is really strong. But I think for this deck, I think Mutant Surveyor is good. I think for the deck that we're building, Scrap Compactor is the take. So we've got Flood the Engine, Grim Bauble, Scrap Compactor. That's all interaction. So that's a pretty good, solid start. What we're looking for is like some Wreckage Wicker Folks and things like that. Glitch Ghost Surveyor or Ether Jacket. I guess I'm taking the Ether Jacket. I do like that this can answer any artifact. There's like Curse Cloth Wrappings and freaking, what's it called? The River Churn Monument, which you do need to have some sort of answer into, and we're not in Broken Wings colors, so I guess I'm a little higher on Ether Jacket for those reasons. Muruganda Raceway, not sure we're going to play that, but we'll take it. Certainly the packs are drying up a little bit now. If anything, we're gonna possibly splash white. Starting column over camera launcher here. I know this does make 2 artifacts, which is pretty nice, but I think the splash is worth it. Like, the ability to splash with starting column is worthwhile. We get a Scoured Baron, so that possible white splash, which is what I would speculate on in this deck, that possible white splash just got a little bit easier. This is a bad pack. This is a really bad pack for us. There's obviously some interesting stuff. There's a Boom Mobile, but we can't reasonably take that. There is a Ticket Tortoise and a Guidelight Optimizer. I wonder if I'm supposed to take the Optimizer. It can cast an AETHERSPARK. And it is an artifact. Ticket Tortoise possibly makes 2 artifacts. Is that better? I really don't know. I mean, there is like a Trade the Helm as a possible interactive piece. We trade a Grim Bauble or something. I think Trade the Helm is just better. I'm not a huge fan of Guidelight Optimizer, and I do think we might just play this Trade the Helm. Well, now there's another one, so that's a little bit unfortunate. There's a Broodheart Engine. That's fantastic. A Bloodghast, which I'm not that interested in. There's another Grim Bauble. I do think the second one is a bit worse than the first, whereas Midnight Mangler is kind of exactly what we want to glue this deck together. So I'm going to take that. There's a Wreckage Wicker Folk. I want more of those for sure. There is a Road Rage Plow Through. Those are interesting cards. Camera Launcher Sarcophagus. All in all, I think this is a pretty weak pack. Wreckage Wicker Folk is by far the best card in any color in this pack, so that does tell me that we are open. We are in the right space. Now, this is a trickier one. There's Broadcast Rambler Thopterist. Yeah, this is pretty decent pack. Pact Altera and Wreckage Wicker Folk are the picks here. I think I'm taking first Pact Altera over second Wicker Folk, although I would love that second Wicker Folk. Now, I think best card in the pack is Mutant Surveyor. But the best card for this deck, is it Ticket Tortoise? I hope not. We have a few 4-drops already. The Surveyor does attack very well. I do want something for this 3-drop slot. I don't think this is really a Mutant Surveyor deck. Like, this isn't where it's good. Maybe I just want Slick Imitator. Not particularly. that was a bit of a weird one. None of those cards I was very happy to play, and this isn't where Mutant Surveyor is at its best. But I don't really want to take Ticket Tortoise that early. And so now there's a Pact Altera. So this is kind of why, like, the Thopterist was the better card, the best card in the last pack. But I want more Pact Alteras, and I don't want to just clog up our 4-drop slot. So we're taking the Pact Altera here. If it weren't for that, I would certainly think about this Dune Drifter. We do have a Scoured Barons already. And then there was also a Scrap Compactor in that pack. Nothing all that interesting in this pack. I don't think we're going to play Ripclaw Wrangler. I think if we are going to play anything here, it might be the Reef Roads. We've got a Midnight Mangler. That's it. I don't think I'm putting either of these cards in my deck. Maybe the Chitin Gravestalker gets there. But I don't really think so. Scrounging Skyray for some discard. We don't have any discard. Stall out or another starting column. Am I going to play the Skyray or the stall out? No. I'm going to take the starting column. It does, obviously it's not fantastic, but it does basically mean that if we do open something that we want to splash, we can really take it. Taking the second Grim Bauble here, not even sure if that's going to make the cut. It's probably good enough because we are such an artifact-heavy deck. We've got 2 Pact Alteras. So it probably is good enough, but we are very open to splashing anything. I think I'd rather have the artifact creature and a 2-drop. At this point, I kind of want more 2 and 3 drops. And that's where I want to be. Oh, would I take another Thopterist or should I just take the land? I am going to take the land. I think we're gonna hit playables. I don't think we're going to play Slick Imitator. And there we go. We got the Dune Drifter all the way back, and we have Scoured Barons for it. And Tranquil Cove. And we opened Thopter Fabricator. So we do have the draw discard here. We AETHERSPARK draws cards as well. Gravestalker cycles. Is Thopter Fabricator worth taking over Hellish Sideswipe, which is a great removal spell, and we have 2 Grim Baubles to go with it? Is Thopter Fabricator worth it? I think it is. Our removal package looks good anyway. It is an artifact. And it is a bomb. It doesn't take much enabling to make this good. Now, another tough choice. There is a Flood the Engine and a Mindspring Merfolk. Yeah, a tough choice. Flood the Engine is fantastic. I would trade the helm for that. But Mindspring Merfolk is insanely strong. Like, it's a 1-mana must-answer threat. So, yeah, I think the upside's pretty high. Oh, now we get a stock up. That's really sick. There's also a Skystreak Engineer in this pack. Hit Automaton. Yeah, these kinds of things aren't all that exciting, but definitely taking the stock up. I think I'm cutting the Gravestalker. Another Wreckage Wickerfolk is absolutely perfect. I'm probably going to cut... I think I'm cutting the Mutant Surveyor. Although if we're not going to play white, then I am going to cut these starting columns. Or at least maybe one of them. We'll think about the Dune Drifter. We are going to take the Wreckage Wickerfolk. That's for sure. That is for sure. And now, do we want to take Mimeoplasm, splash it with the starting column, and then it's just like a big dumb creature? I think Mimeoplasm is pretty good, especially with like Wreckage Wickerfolk. You can just turn it into a Wreckage Wickerfolk. You could turn it into a Thopter Fabricator. It might be that Guidelight Optimizer gets there. Mimeoplasm probably just makes the deck worse. Probably. It is not bad. I have had fun with it, at least. But yeah, it probably does. It's not what we want to do. It's not. I'm getting it's for the green black decks. I'm getting too excited. I need to tone it down. Trade the helm, intimidation tactics, I think is fine. I'll take. Oh, do you know what? We do have 2 Grim Baubles. Not going to play 2 trade the helms, but maybe we'll play this first one. And now, like, we could take Broadcast Rambler. Wickerfolk Indomitable is like meh. Do I just prefer Spectral Interference? Really don't think we are leaving up a whole lot of mana in this deck. I think we're okay for creatures. There's a Sky Streak Engineer, a Night Market. Voyage Home is probably worth the white splash, though. We're going to splash the Dune Drifter anyway. So we'll take Voyage Home. Now, Keen Buccaneer is better with the Thopter Fabricator. Guidelight Optimizer is probably just better in general. I do think the Buccaneer is all around a better creature. And probably better than the Mutant Surveyor in this deck. Not going to play any of those. Skystreak Engineer is solid. I know it's not an artifact. Thopterist is also solid, but I don't think that's going to make the cut. Yeah, we need to make a few cuts here. Clean up the 2-drops. Don't want to get too deep into the artifact source. Our interaction looks okay. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into the artifact source. We might play this second Trade the Helm. We are going to play those white cards. I guess we might play this Thopterist. That is certainly a possibility. And our interaction suite looks like there's an interference, flood the engine, spin out, ether jacket. We've got a trade the helm here. So I do think with Mindspring Merfolk, 2 Grim Baubles, kind of do feel like Trade the Helm is worth playing. Because like 5 mana, swap a Thopter for something, or, you know, swap an Exhausted Mindspring or a Grim Bauble. That's good. Or like swap a Ticket Tortoise, but we'll see if the Ticket Tortoises are gonna make the cut. I think the white splash is worth it. We can play 1 starting column, have 4 white sources fairly easily. Maybe even we play both starting columns and we actually don't play any planes. Because both Dune Drifter and Voyage Home are late game plays. Return an artifact or creature card with mana value X or less. So this can return, it's probably returning a Pact Altera. I guess that's not that exciting. But it's probably still good. I can return Thopter Fabricator. Not that Thopter Fabricator is doing a whole lot. So the question is, like, how much do I want to lean into artifacts? I have Keen Buccaneer and Skystreak Engineer. And I think those are better cards than Ether Jacket and, like, Ticket Tortoise. But how much do the artifacts really, really matter to me? We have got Voyage Home and Haunt the Network. They are the cards that care about artifacts. We do also have Pact Altera. And we have 17 artifacts right now. So that really is not irrelevant. But Skystreak Engineer does hold an AETHERSPARK really well. Maybe Keen Buccaneer could be cut, but it does cycle a card to make a Thopter with the Thopter Fabricator. It is tricky. I might be getting it a little bit too deep into the source. I do think Spectral Interference is going to be cut. We don't really have many instants. Not doing much at flash speed. So, yeah, I think I do want to trim that. Is Voyage Home a sorcery? Yeah, we have a couple of exhaust spells, but I don't think... Yeah, I don't think we want the counter spell. I do like it, but don't think this is the deck for it. Intimidation Tactics is pretty easy to cut. It's like the cycle 3 is fairly expensive. And I'm not like a huge fan of this card. We have Scrap Compactor as well. Yeah, I think it's playable, but I'm gonna cut it. Let's have a look at our creature curve. So we have got 14 creatures. However, Midnight Mangler is a creature. Thopter Fabricator nearly is. Haunt the Network is a creature, and Dune Drifter creates a creature. So it's more like 17 creatures. So we can certainly cut some. There is room to make some cuts. I like Midnight Mangler. I do think I like Skystreak Engineer though. I just think it's so much better than Ticket Tortoise. It's just the idea that Ticket Tortoise makes 2 artifacts. We have no max speed payoffs, so actually maybe I just cut the Walking Sarcophagus. I certainly think that is correct. We have 2 card draw spells, which is very nice. I do not know if I want to play both starting columns, but the incidental, like, we have 2 Wreckage Wicker folks. In the late game, we have 2 Pact Terrors too, so we should be able to get up to max speed. And then this is a pretty good way to find action in the late game. So I'm kind of inclined to keep at least 1 starting column. But we probably don't need 2. The splash is pretty light. We need 1 White Pit. Okay, 4 more cards to cut. Yeah, we only need 1 White Pit for Dune Drifter and Voyage Home. And we have got, like, Ticket Tortoise, which is half a splash. We have starting column. We do have our two dual lands, so I feel pretty good about that splash. This is a good blue-black deck. Just need to think about... I mean, if we look at our non-creature spells, we don't need to play the Dune Drifter, but I do think it's worth it. I want the cuts to come from this sort of section here. I don't think... some of these cards are not very good. Do I need the Gearseeker Serpent to sort of go over the top? Maybe I need it as a finisher. Maybe the AETHERSPARK is good enough as a finisher. Thopter Fabricator can certainly finish a game. Haunt the Network can finish a game with all the Pact Terrors. I kind of think I want to cut the Gearseeker. It feels like it'd be good in this deck, but is it important to have a 5/6? It doesn't necessarily block Green's creatures very well, but it can come down pretty early and block a like a Hazard of the Dunes. It can certainly like tussle with a Ketrodon or something, and it can close out a game. Okay, all right. I do think I want to keep it. I am leaning towards cutting Skystreak Engineer and Keen Buccaneer, and maybe a Thopterist, just for curve considerations. Am I really thinking about playing Ticket Tortoise? We do have 2 affinity cards. That's the reason why. We've got 2 affinity cards and Haunt the Network, which are good artifact payoffs. This is a tough one. This is tough. Okay. What draws me extra cards? Mindspring Merfolk does. Keen Buccaneer does. Voyage Home does. The AETHERSPARK does. Stock Up does not. And the starting column does. So Thopter Fabricator is not at its best in this deck. I'm going to trim the Skystreak Engineer. I'm going to trim the Keen Buccaneer. And lean all the way into the artifacts. Is that correct? I probably want to trim a Thopterist. And then if there's one more cut, it's probably, I guess, Trade the Helm Cycles. Scrap Compactor is okay. Yeah, it's better in this deck. There's certainly, like, upside in this deck. It might be the Dune Drifter is the weakest card here. No, definitely not. It's definitely not the Dune Drifter. It might be the Gear Seeker. Don't have any engine rats. I'm just thinking, if I get rid of this Gear Seeker, how am I ever beating the green decks? How am I ever even beating a Ketrodon that has reach? I hate that I have to play to beat the green decks, but I do. You do have to play to beat the green decks in this format. We have a good amount of card draw. With Trade the Helm, do I want to cut a Grim Bauble? I think maybe I do. Trade the Helm can always trade. Yeah, there's other things we can trade. The second Grim Bauble, it really is. It does lose value. But it is a cheap artifact, keeps us alive in the early game. But it is bad against the green decks. So, am I beating the aggressive decks? Yes, I've got 2 Packed Alterras and a Haunt the Network. If I can get to those, I'm going to be beating any of the, like, really aggressive decks and going over the top. If I want to beat the big green decks, the grindy decks, then I think I'm supposed to trim that Grim Bauble. So that leaves me with 14 artifacts. That is plenty. Our mana base. So we need double black. We need double blue. We've got 8 blue sources, 7 black sources. I'm certainly going to trim one of those planes. That gives us 8 black sources, 8 blue sources, a starting column. We have Guidelight Optimizer, Tortoise, and then 3 white sources plus starting column. Let's give this a run. I think this has been tricky. I think this is a good deck. I think this is a good pool, and it's been a good draft. I don't think I have created the best deck from it. But let's give it a run and see if we want to change anything in between games. Well, punished immediately for our colors. We're going to mulligan this. We are going to keep this, but it is not a good hand. Put back an island. And we are off. Voyager glide car on turn 1. That is pretty good. We drew the AETHERSPARK. Will it get us anywhere? Who knows? Midnight Mangler to block a crude glide car, at least. And we have AETHERSPARK, but no good targets for it. The opponent is just playing vehicles. We drew a land. Okay, I mean, this is a little bit interesting. Just a little bit interesting. Am I going to put an AETHERSPARK on a Guidelight Optimizer? Am I going to attack for 3 here? No, I don't think I am. I do think we attach the AETHERSPARK to the Guidelight Optimizer. If the opponent taps out and doesn't have blockers, then it hits for 3, and then we draw 2 cards off the AETHERSPARK next turn. Taking 3 here. Untapped creatures. Yeah, I think I'm taking this trade. We have the Dune Drifter in hand. This leaves them tapped out. So this means we can draw 2 cards next turn, and we also have plays. So that gives us lots of options. Lifecraft engine. Not very scary. What do you name? Pilot? Okay, what does that tell us? Because the opponent has no pilots on the field right now. Did they name the wrong creature? What was that about? The Wreckage Wickerfolk holding an AETHERSPARK is going to be pretty nice. We don't have an attack here, and I do want to just draw my card. So I'm going to Surveil first. Should have used my white. That is a swamp and a spin out, and I've tapped my black source. I do want to keep both of those. I guess I don't need the swamp. Oh, I do want to make sure I have double black. Damn it. Okay. That is fine. We will draw 2 cards. Play my swamp. Play my starting column. We don't have an attack here because they can block with the Lifecraft engine. So we're just going to pass the turn. Next turn, we re-equip to the Wreckage Wickerfolk. Hold up, spin out, go to town. So what they could do is use Scrap Compactor, kill Guidelight Optimizer, and then attack. And I would have to block with the Wreckage Wicker Folk. But that would be fine. Because they'd have to use a lot of resources. And I can reanimate the Wicker Folk. And then equip the AETHERSPARK to it, and they have to do it all over again. They have to keep finding kill spells. Okay, so we are going to Dune Drifter for X equals 2. Get back Wreckage Wicker Folk. Cove I don't need. Flood the engine I do. And we have Spin Out available. Yeah, we don't need to attack with the Dune Drifter. Well, no, it has Summoning Sickness. What am I talking about? So if they kill the Wicker Folk, crew the Lifecraft engine, attack the AETHERSPARK, 1, we can crew the Dune Drifter to block. 2, we have Spin Out up anyway. So if they crew the Lifecraft engine here, and then I kill it after it's a creature, they can actually activate the Glide Car's ability. What are they crewing? The Lifecraft engine? So am I supposed to just kill the Lifecraft engine? I'd rather kill the Glide Car. I really don't care about the Lifecraft engine. Yeah, I'd rather I'd rather spin out the Glide Car. Okay, they're going for an attack. We could trade the Dune Drifter. Certainly don't mind doing that. See if they have a trick. They want to save their Surveyor. Yeah, I think they have a trick. So am I taking 7? I am, because I do think they have something. I don't want to... I don't want them to blow out this Spin Out. We do know we've got Flood the Engine coming next as well. Okay, now that they've tapped out, we can do this. Let's just hit them for 2. Draw 2 cards. Nice draws. Trade the Helm is nice. Scoured Barons can go. And do I want to Flood the Engine this? It hits me for 4. I don't really care. I'd rather flood the engine something useful. And we can actually, I don't know, we can steal it next turn if we want to. Because we have Trade the Helm coming, I think I can flood this. Because whatever they play, we can Trade the Helm next turn. Yeah, they're down to 2 cards. We have Trade the Helm next turn. We have take up the AETHERSPARK and just chill. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take up the AETHERSPARK. Hold up the blocker for the moment. And we're just going to pass. I would like some slightly better blockers, but we can take 4 here. Not worried about Velo Heartbite. Okay, Pact Altera is a very good draw. So we're going to start here. We're at max speed. We can sack the starting column. We can discard and draw. We're still going to start by just drawing 2 cards from the AETHERSPARK. Stock up's pretty nice. Stock up is nice. Do I want to trade the Helm? Steal the Vanguardian. It is tapped. Let's start with starting column. And Ether Jacket actually is worth playing because it does trade with both of their creatures. We can stock up next turn. Yeah, we have really got this game pretty firmly in hand. So this might be a Bestow Greatness. If it is, how much damage would I be taking? 8 here? Oh, if they use it over here, then it would be 4 plus 7, which would be lethal. This means it's not lethal. I should do this the other way around. You should crew there. You can go there. Yeah. And then I am surviving a Bestow Greatness. They've got 1 card in hand, so let's defend the rider. It's nowhere near good enough. Stock up. I will take... What's on their field? I'll take Scrap Compactor. I guess I'll take Thopterist at this point. We can go to combat. We can take it pretty slow, because we're drawing so many cards. Let's just keep this victory inevitable. Another Packed Terror. Yeah, the best way for us to win this is just slowly drain the opponent out. We had a real chokehold on them there. So I made a change to the deck. Punished again for our splash, although this probably would have been an island, so not really. Still, we're going to mulligan. I added a Sky Streak Engineer and cut a Guidelight Optimizer, because I think that evasive creatures are so much better with the AETHERSPARK, and I wanted to lean into that. Keeping this, putting back Gear Seeker, I think. All the planes. Oh, do I need the land? Do I need the land? 1, 2 artifacts. Ugh, God damn it. Maybe I Wickerfolk on 2 to find the land. And Dune Drifter can reanimate. Yeah, okay. Alright. Put back the planes. Because we can surveil creatures to the graveyard and Dune Drifter can reanimate them. Mindspring Merfolk certainly can be played later. Don't need to play that on curve. Pit Automaton. Not too worried about that. Starting column certainly helps. So I do want this spin out. I don't actually need this island now. Okay. I see you, opponent. I see what you're doing. Gonna play out the Merfolk, because we can reanimate it. So if they spend a removal spell on it, that gives us something to do next turn. Didn't know what their second color was. So if I'd have read something just like a Grim Bauble, that would have been fine. Cool. I kept up 2 greed. I think I'm just exhausting the Merfolk. And I think I'm doing it at sorcery speed because I do want to draw a land. Yeah, so I'm glad we surveilled that island to the bottom. We can take aggression because we've got Haunt the Network in hand. So there's still nothing to spin out. Let's play a Gear Seeker. We have answers in hand. We're in a pretty good spot, but it's because the opponent didn't do anything last turn. So I don't know what their hand is. They didn't attack. I guess because they wanted the Surveil. Sure, Siphon Fuel on the Gear Seeker. Afterburner Expert. So I think we're just sacking the starting column next turn to find something more interesting. discard an island. Don't really want to spin any of these out. If they're just going to exhaust this, I think that's fine. I'm just going to stock up. Leaves up. I think I'd rather leave up double black. Right, the other white card is Voyage Home. We're not casting that. Yeah, so I'd rather leave up double black. Looking for... well, let's see. This is not a Thopter Fabricator hand. There's a Grim Bauble and a Wreckage Wickerfolk. Bauble looks good here. And Wickerfolk is castable right now. And just digs me deeper to the AETHERSPARK. They don't have any exhaust creatures right now. I still think I'm going to take out the thing that surveils. Because again, the damage we take from Afterburner Expert is not that big a deal. Because we have Haunt the Network in hand. We're looking for Pact Alterras. We're looking for the AETHERSPARK. There it is. That should be pretty difficult for them to contend with here. Are we multi-blocking? No. I mean, I guess we could. This would take out 2 Wreckage Wickerfolks. No, I'm not. I'm not going to block the Afterburner Expert. We'll just chump block it with the Mindspring Merfolk and maybe get that back. Ketrodon. Ketrodon is not too much of a problem. We will spin it out. And then I guess we're not AETHERSPARKing this turn. We're just going to scrap Compactor. Drifter gets back Mindspring Merfolk. That's not quite where I'm at just yet. Could just make some 1/1s. Not there either. Should I just scrap Compactor, play the AETHERSPARK, take 12 or something? Could have done, really could have done with the 1 more mana. I actually think that's, I think that's worth it. I think we attach over here. Now the risk is that they kill the Wickerfolk and then destroy the AETHERSPARK. You know what? That wasn't worth it. That was a bad play. Save 6 damage? Nah. Cool. Yeah, they don't got shit. They don't got shit. Okay, we have 7 mana. So we could Pact Alterra and hold up Spin Out. I think that's good enough for the moment. Especially with Haunt the Network next turn. So we don't want to get got by Bestow Greatness. So I do think we're supposed to make this block. Fair enough. Right. We're on the play. We have no blue, but we do have Wreckage Wickerfolk, and then we can cycle this. I think we're keeping this. We're looking for blue. Yeah, we're looking for islands. But Wreckage Wickerfolk does make this keepable, and then, of course, Trade the Helm is not unreasonable as well. To just cycle that, look for more blue. Yeah, I think I'm bottoming both of these. It's a shame putting the Scoured Barons to the bottom, but it is fine. I could play out the Ticket Tortoise. It's not really doing anything, though. I'm going to cycle the Trade the Helm. I will trade for the Canyon Volta. But yeah, we need to keep digging and find our island. We're not, like, they're not putting on a ton of pressure. So this isn't the worst. Yeah, we are taking this block, though. Otherwise, we're just taking a bunch of damage every turn. Ticket Tortoise does actually block fairly well here. What I want is island. There we go. There we go. Ticket Tortoise. Sky Streak Engineer. We have an evasive creature and a good blocker. Pact Altera next turn. Stock up next turn. Stock up into Midnight Mangler is pretty good. Opponent's not putting on much pressure. That island was a huge draw. Okay. Off to the races. It's a Wreckage Wickerfolk. So I need to stock up. I don't need either of these. I do need this Tranquil Cove. But then I have starting column as well. I need an untapped land for this turn, right? Oh, sorry, opponent. I'm having a little think over here. I want an untapped land for this turn. I want starting column for the turn after. Yeah, I think that's sort of highest upside. And I do think I play the Wickerfolk here. Scrap Compactor. Can kill something. Don't need the swamp. I'll keep Scrap Compactor. Opponent's getting pretty irate that I have decisions to make. Okay, Lotus Guard is fine. They get a free attack. Oh, where are you going to put the point? Very easy trade. I think that was a pretty weird attack, to be honest. Scrap Compactor just dumps out our hand, but I think I'd rather have Pact Altera down, start the drains. No attacks. We can double block the Lotus Guard Disciple. Unless they represent Maximum Overdrive or something. Okay, risky shortcut. Don't mind seeing that. We have a lot of good draws. We've gone through a fair chunk of our deck, and there's quite a bit of power left in the deck. Okay. I think if they were going to attack, they... if they had maximum overdrive, I think they would have attacked. Just blink it in for a little bit of damage. Let's just start in column. Midnight Mangler. If they like Spectacular Pileup, we have Thopter Fabricator plus starting column. To rebuild. So I really, yeah, I don't think the Pileup is even that good for them. Okay, so they found their green. They found their green. We have Scrap Compactor available next turn for anything scary that they play. Island. Let's just keep this back. That is 3 speed. We'll be on 4 next turn. And we can play the Fabricator, because if we hit 4 speed next turn, then we can sack the starting column, draw some cards, make a 1/1. They've got 4 cards in hand. If they remove the Fabricator, it's not even that big a deal. It's a much scarier looking card than it is in our deck. Roadside Assistance gives the bike lifelink, makes a 1/1. I mean, you're going to trade it with the Midnight Mangler? I have this Scrap Compactor, deal 3 damage, open. Weird as hell attack. They would have to be holding up a fight spell for this to be reasonable and a maximum overdrive. I'm going to make them have that. Make them use it to kill 2 of my things. Okay, so it was just a mistake. That's pretty nice. Should have attacked with the Fabricator. Don't know why I didn't. Javelin here. Yeah, you show me who's boss. Hit me for 3. This just enables me to hit back for more next turn. They don't even have speed enabled. And I'm not going to risk my Fabricator. Their attacks have been a bit strange. All game, really. AETHERSPARK. Let's put it on our least valuable attacker. Spin out the Fabricator. See, this is what I mean. Like, people are a lot more scared of it than they really should be in our deck. I mean, it's pretty sick with the AETHERSPARK down, but what they should have done is spin out the Wreckage Wickerfolk, and then they can attack down the AETHERSPARK. Although I would have 2 good blockers. Like, I would block Embalmed Descendant. Okay, I mean, if they're just getting their speed started now, it's way too late. I'm at 20. This attack is very questionable. Now the hand is dumped out. So, I am going to start by drawing a couple of cards. That is a lot of flood. I'm then gonna attack. For lethal. Right? No, not quite lethal. Flood the engine. I don't really need to flood the engine any of this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, we have lethal next turn. Let's just chill. Any artifact off the top is lethal. They have to deal with 2 lethal flying threats. 3, technically, because the AETHERSPARK can equip to the 1/1 and make it a lethal threat. They have to do so through a Flood the Engine that they don't know about. And, of course, if we do get in with the AETHERSPARK, we draw a couple cards and then any artifact wins us the game. So we should have this pretty much wrapped up. Who needs time to think now, buddy? So let's just eat that, eat that, eat that. Yeah, they're definitely going to rope us out. They're really salty about it. They're really salty that I had any decisions to make at the start of the game. But they made some really insane attacks. So maybe I talk game. Maybe you should talk a little less game and walk a little more. And take a moment to think about what you want to do before you do it. Folks, if you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe, and drop a comment below. We are approaching my... so when I started the YouTube channel, my first goal was to just sort of get a content engine up and running, right? And I wanted to hit 50 videos. Before I really even thought about what I want to do, what kind of creator I want to be, the changes I want to make to my videos. I wanted to just create 50 because I thought there's no point trying to figure out how exactly I want to improve the content before there's like a real content creation engine going on. And so I've put together this engine where, you know, I can have a YouTube video go out every single weekday. And that seems to be running pretty well. In a few weeks' time, we will hit 50 videos, and we will have done so with like 6 weeks in a row of a video going out every weekday. And that's a really good place to be. That will mark the point where I think, do you know what, I can do this, because I have a full-time job, right? So I can do this. It is sustainable. It is fun. I'm putting out a good level of content. I like the content I'm putting out, of course, but that's when the point comes where I can really start to think about, like, well, what do I actually want to do? Like, what kind of magic content do I want to create? Where do I have the most fun? What is the most useful to you guys? That kind of stuff. Anyway, we are... just going to swing in here. Wrap that up. Move on to the next game. Plat 1 as well. Very nice. Okay, I've lost track of what our score is, but I'm pretty sure we're doing well, despite several mana issues. This is good, though. We're going first. We can Mind Spring Merfolk. We have Flood the Engine or stock up on 3. Little bit of a weird curve. But I certainly don't mind playing out the Mind Spring Merfolk. I think it's worth just having something on the board. Tranquil Cove's, like, not the worst draw. Do I want to just cash this in to draw a card? Or do I want to just stock up? Because I think they're going to kill it. It's pretty likely that they're going to kill it. I'd still rather just stock up, though. So we have one land. Oh, this... I mean, this isn't fantastic. Ether Jacket as a scrap compactor Ether Jacket if I want the removal, and the cheap artifacts to make Voyage home better. Dune Drift is also absolutely reasonable with the Mind Spring Merfolk in play. Let's take those two. So what we could do here is just scrap compactor. I kind of want to just pack Dolterra. Yeah, let's just do that. I don't mind them getting to 2 speed. Okay, so they made a play, which means they can't attack. I'm happy to discard a Midnight Mangler. Yep. Cruise 2. Sky Streak Engineer. Okay, so let's play Scrap Compactor. Holding the Flood the Engine. I don't really want to Dune Drift or anything back. Do I want to play Sky Streak Engineer or draw a card off of the Merfolk? Yeah, I'd rather just play out the Merfolk. Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty good board. We draw a card, we can voyage home. Their speed is pretty low. Gas Guzzler. So that is a reason not to let them get up to speed. I think I'm just taking 5 here. We could also just flood the engine, the Gas Guzzler, and then, like... Then we don't really care. Spin Out's not a bad draw at all. I would like to just... I want to just get the Midnight Mangler back. It blocks this board really well. Gets us 2 drains and means we can voyage home for really cheap. I could also just exhaust the Mindspring Merfolk, but then I'm not doing anything else. I think it's this. I know it's a little strange. Oh, I guess I could just chomp, draw, and then reanimate next turn. Okay, yeah, let's pass and chill. We are not blocking with this, so we can attack. Yeah, let's see what the opponent wants to do. We have Voyage Home, Pact Dolterra. I'm not too worried about the life loss. Only a little bit concerned about the speed. But I'll happily trade the Mindspring Merfolk for either of these 2 toughness creatures. Yep, I'm super happy with this trade. So Calaxion is a little scary if they have a trick or something, but I don't really... I'm not even that worried about that. This leaves me with 2 mana. Oh, 2 mana doesn't do anything. Yeah, getting a little bit mana screwed. Am I just spinning out this turn? Should I just play out the Thopterist because it blocks everything? Until I draw a little bit more? Yeah, okay. Play out the Thopterist. It blocks everything until I start to unlock my hand. No attacks here. I might be holding the Sky Streak Engineer back. I have a ton of removal. I just need to draw a few lands and start to pick apart their board. Spin out the 3/4. Yeah, okay, so we take that trade there. I think it's time to double block over here. Because it leaves them with a really disappointing board. We can start in column and kill Gas Guzzler. That's not that exciting. We can bring back something like Pact Alterra. Can't bring back Pact Alterra. I think I've got to get the starting column cast. And target creature or vehicle. Okay, yeah, let's hold up Scrap Compactor this turn. We're also holding up Spin Out. Okay. Taking 3. Take out the Gas Guzzler now. Good. They're sacking their board. They're looking to draw cards. But they're not playing any of those cards this turn. One, two, three, four, 6, 7. Yeah, let's just get back Pact Alterra. Because I think the life gain is going to totally... They're at max speed already. We don't need to deal with the Surveyor yet. We can hold our removal for bigger threats. Oil Gorge is probably worth dispatching. Yeah, they don't have a Mutant Surveyor attack. And a Broodheart Engine. So we could swap our Dune Drifter for their Broodheart Engine. What do they get back? Is that something that I want to do? I guess it might be. It really might be. One, two, three, 4. So we have 8 mana. So we can do that and hold up Spin Out. I think that is good. No attacks. We're going to chill. Do I want to flood the engine this or Spin Out? I'm going to Spin it out because if they have a way to reanimate it, I don't care as much as something really scary, which I might want to flood the engine so that it strands it on the board and they can't reanimate it. How much is this? No blocks. They have 4... Oh, they have 3 pumps? That's fine. Yeah, so like Terrion is worth flooding. AETHERSPARK on top. That's pretty Nice. So we're just gonna flood the Terrian. Voyage home. Don't think I'm blocking. No, I think I can block the Dune Drifter, so I'm going to hold the Pact Altera back. We can actually activate the Broodheart engine, which is pretty sick. Get back, I don't know, something. Maybe a Mind Spring Merfolk? Haunt. Haunt is very good. Haunt is very good indeed. So let's play the AETHERSPARK first. I think I want it on one of the 1/1s. This is lethal, but is it worth it yet? Oh my god, I thought it had to deal combat damage to a player. Deals combat damage full stop. That is crazy. Don't care about this, actually. Okay, Siphon Fuel. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Thopter Fabricator. Now that is a very good draw. Because we can sack this, get back the Pact Altera. Draw 2 cards. Just gonna hit him, don't even care. Lovely. We are at 4-0. This is a very keepable hand. Midnight Mangler into stock up, possibly into something else. Scrap Compactor, not bad. Interesting. White. Splashing something. We are going to take this opportunity to stock up. Well. I guess we'll take a Ticket Tortoise, and I guess we'll take a Swamp. That was not very exciting. But at least we got all those cards off of the top of our deck. Yeah, okay, I'm not trading or flooding any of this, so let's just dump these bad cards out, voyage home next turn. They can crew up the glider if they want to. They still need to play another creature to do that. we'll happily trade the tortoise for something good. And we have 2 removal spells in hand, so we're in a pretty decent spot. Another glider. Yeah, so they can crew up and attack. I don't feel like that's particularly... Yeah, I mean, fine. They hit me for 2 in the air. They're choosing not to. Even though I don't have any attacks, they are choosing not to. So I'm going to voyage home. I will bauble one of these gliders. We have a handful of removal. Our life total is high. Our board is pretty well defended. All of our top decks are pretty good. This actually would be good for our deck, so I might trade the helm there. Which I think is pretty fun. Could also just give them the Grim Bauble. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. You can have a Grim Bauble. I will have the Skylight Synergist. Thank you. And again, handful of removal, Pact Alterra. Yeah, we're in a good spot. Explosive Getaway. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, very nice. I mean, it's not a very big deal, because we have plenty of ways to deal with it. We could just deal, like, destroy it with the Scrap Compactor. I don't hate that. Kind of want to get on the board as well, though. Okay, let's wait. Let's play out our Pact Alterra and wait. Before we remove this thing. We have plenty of ways to remove it. Looking for AETHERSPARK. Don't need Gear Seeker Serpent. AETHERSPARK is all the finishing power we need. Salvation Engine. Yes, very nice, opponent. Very nice. Taken 5. We can just destroy that. Like that is face up. Which does make it a little bit suspicious. Well, let's do it. Again, just building our own board here. Because we're not threatened by this Guidelight Synergist yet. Lightning Strike the Ether Jacket. And now they've got no cards in hand. Just this Guidelight Synergist against the world. They have their own Ether Jacket. So I actually do need to remove that Ether Jacket. So let's do that. Because it can destroy my AETHERSPARK. Okay, let's chill. Let's AETHERSPARK it up. think this game is pretty much wrapped up. Yeah, you scry. Kept something on top. Pass turn. We will draw 2 cards. Let's take our drains now. Starting column, Skystreak Engineer. We don't need these cards anymore. Opponent has had enough. Okay, 5-0. We could go for a clean sweep here. Could we do it with this hand? I do think it's probably worth... I think it's probably keepable. Ticket Tortoise is not great here. Okay, our average cards... Like, our average 6 cards is probably better than this, right? That is marginally better. But it is marginal. Still, we have, like, we can cycle the Trade the Helm if we need to. We have a couple of removal spells in hand. Haunt the Network, not a fantastic draw. Still, we can snap off the Basri. The longer the game goes, the better this card gets. And we don't need to rush on doing this because it is exerted. So we can... I think I want to cycle Trade the Helm this turn. Doesn't look very good here. And there's an Embalmed Ascendant. I'd rather snap that off. Okay. This is not going well. Basri makes 1/1s. Don't care too much. Still just passing. Yeah, I think the Embalmed Descendant is actually the bigger threat. And spin out the last ride. And we're going to do that because it's going to start drawing them cards. So before it starts drawing them cards, I need to spin it out. Because they're struggling on mana, so that's the only hope we have. Is that they continue to get mana screwed. And we can put something in play that just blocks these 1/1s. Nothing right now, though. We can reanimate and use Scrap Compactor. No, we can't. Never mind. AETHERSPARK on an empty board. Fucking excellent. Okay. How can I get out of this, though? Do I just Haunt the Network? Make 2 1/1s? Whack an AETHERSPARK on them next turn? That is so bad. Nothing to reanimate. Yeah. That is so bad, but I actually think that's what we have to do. Because our draw has been just so awful. Mitigate the damage. Daring Mechanic doesn't do anything. But I am taking a ton of damage. Yeah, that is, I think that's just game. They have attack for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's the way the cards lie. If we'd kept that first hand, we wouldn't have beaten that either. All right. Oh, no blue, but we do have Wreckage Wickerfolk, which will have to find us a blue source. Pretty good Haunt the Network hand. Okay, Dredge's Insight. Broodwagon in the bin, very nice. Oh, they put it into their hand, okay. There's our blue source. Next turn, we are actually just playing a 2-drop. But then the next turn, we're playing a 4-drop into a 5. Yeah, okay, so I don't want the tap land. Surveyor. So, into a Surveyor. Just going to drop the Midnight Mangler, because I'm happy to trade with it. Cycling now. The Broodwagon. Cycling a Ketrodon. Yeah, we're going to have to contend with all these big fat creatures. That is an Aetherspark. Do I want to just go for that? Do they have... They have double green. They absolutely could be playing Broken Wings. But I am going to do it. The upside is so high. Like, they can't currently... When they play the Broodwagon, they'll take out the Aetherspark. But if I can draw a couple of cards off it first, then I'll be pretty happy. If they reanimate, they like, there's a Broken Wings in the bin. They can reanimate like a Loxodon Surveyor, and that's it. So let's start with drawing a couple cards. Play my planes. Have to play Ticket Tortoise here. Can't even exhaust the merfolk, so that's not that good. Oh, why did I... Okay, I did it the wrong way around, but it's fine. Play you. Getting this all wrong. Spin out and an island. Do I want the island? I don't need the island. Oh, I do have Mindspring Merfolk. Okay. Broodwagon destroys the Aetherspark. But that was their whole turn, and our follow-up is genuinely quite good. Like, they got to destroy the Mindspring Merfolk. We have Haunt the Network for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is actually just lethal, which is mad. So this crew's for 3. So if I attack all, they can place 1 block, 2 blocks, and take 3. Right, they block here, take 3, no lifelink. We got him. We needed that. We needed to turn the corner right then, I think. I think they were about to turn the corner, is what I should say. This is it. This is our trophy match. We're on the play. We can keep this. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about all of that. I think I'm leading on the Tranquil Cove in case I draw something else. But again, Mindspring Merfolk is really nice with Dune Drifter. Like, if I can exhaust this, draw a couple cards, and then do it again, that's a nice little engine. Scurryfoot. Well, that was a pretty fantastic draw. Ooh. They have their own Mindspring Merfolk. Well, mine has a free attack. And now we'll surveil, we'll draw cards next turn. Trading Merfolks here. Starting column is nice. But I do have all my colors. So I think I'm just going to bottom both of those. They could be holding up Counterspell. They're holding up something. So we're just going to draw cards this turn, because I don't want to just run into a Spectral Interference. They're going to double bounce off. That's strange. Now I don't know what they're doing. Because they might have just given up their opportunity to draw. Like, I lead on my Mindspring Merfolk. And now I'm going to flood the engine theirs. And now I feel like I'm way ahead. They probably should have taken the opportunity to draw and not attack that turn. Because now I feel like I'm way, way ahead. Still think they have a counterspell, so I'm just going to keep drawing cards. X equals 4 here. Draw casual 4 cards. We have got 6 lands, they have got 5. So Ticket Tortoise is just never really relevant. Still think they're holding up a counterspell. But they can't counter... We can pay for Spectral Interference, so we'll do that. Okay. Do you want to counter... A tortoise. Broken wings. Okay. Sure thing. Plenty more where that came from, though. Play a Ketrodon. So we probably do want to spin that out. But we can chump block it this turn, and they are tapped out. So what I actually want to do is just, like, dump my hand. One, two for X equals 4. Okay, so let's Dune Drifter for X equals 4. Then play the Wicker Folk. Scrap Compactor is nice. And yeah, we can just block with the Merfolk this turn. We've got so much card draw, so much removal. We'll just eventually grind them out, find our win cons, and we will be fine. Not attacking with the Skystreak Engineer is a bit weird. Second Ketrodon. Well, there is our Scrap Compactor. So we've got spin out for this turn. Yeah, so let's spin out this turn. That leaves us 4 mana. It's really hard not to just voyage home, huh? You fucking... It tapped the black. Oh my god, I hate the auto tapper. Well, it's never going to get better than this. But whatever. Our life total is so high. Like, we'll just chump with the Dune Drifter. Well, we'll double block with Dune Drifter and Tortoise here. Okay, nice. I'm down to 23. And there's just so much more where that came from. Starting column. So we can spin out, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana left over. Is this the turn to spin out and Scrap Compactor? It might be. No blocks. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Destroy Ketrodon. Let's destroy Ketrodon. Okay, I don't know what's in their hand. Hazard of the Dunes. And we have Haunt the Network. That is savage. We can 1, 2, 3 and still cast it. So let's Wicker Folk. This might just be lethal. AETHERSPARK's gonna have a hard time punching through the Hazard of the Dunes, but that's fine. I think this might just be lethal. I'm not even gonna... Yeah, it is. Wow. That was such a sick game. That was so good for us. I feel like the opponent... I really thought they had more than they did. So maybe they just had a bad hand. If they did, then they bluffed pretty well, or maybe I overthought it. But win is a win. Well, there you have it, folks. What a fantastic draft that was. I knew that the deck was powerful. It had some really powerful elements. I wasn't sure if I made the right deck building decisions. Maybe I didn't. We had a ton of mulligans, quite a few mana issues. We managed to fight through them all and score the trophy. We didn't get the clean sweep, but you're never going to complain about a 7-1 and a trophy. So that is it from me. I will catch you on the next episode of Operation Double Mythic, which is tomorrow. I will see you then. And that is a wrap. Goodbye for now.